social, the strategy. I feel like it needs to have like dun 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 music next to it. So our 3 desired outcomes were simple. We built it, now we needed them to come. We needed to drive traffic, because if you don't drive traffic, then the validity of your site narrows and narrows and narrows. So in order for a nonprofit to gather funders, to get partners, to build our presence and our influence, we needed to drive traffic. We needed to build a community and build a brand. We decided to go out, our local name is Community Gatepath, but we decided to rebrand ourselves on a national extension with abilitypath.org. And so we needed to build that brand, whether we use Community Gatepath or a new name like AbilityPath. We needed to brand ourselves into this community. So we needed to build both our community and our brand. And last but not least, you'll quickly learn that influence on the online world and in the blogosphere and is important. If you don't have people, the first thing people look at, how many people are following you, what's your network size, and they rank you by that. And so you need to build influence. And influence isn't necessarily just the number of people that like you or that follow you or who are friends with you. It also is your position in the marketplace. It is putting out that relevant content that somebody spoke about and putting out there and being seen as a destination resource, being seen as somebody, as that trusted advisor, being seen as somebody that a user, it's what I always say, it's great when we look at analytics a lot. It's great when you get traffic to your site, but really what is more telling is that repeat traffic, because that means you didn't just attract them, but they came back to you. Or it's great when you get a like on Facebook, but what's really better is when they start to like your posts. They start to share your posts. That's really golden. That's what you want everybody to do. You want people to share because that's your first step in going viral. You've hit a chord, you've struck a chord with them, and they want to share it on their feed with their friends, which will hopefully strike a chord with somebody else who's like-minded like them, which then they will share it, and there you go, the ripple effect and what social media has done for a lot of people. This is just a social media strategy kind of, you know, back of the napkin kind of illustration that just talks a little bit about kind of the key components to a strategy you want to definitely take into account. When I refer to our social web or our social landscape, this is what I'm talking about. However, I've realized that I left something on that we're actually just experimenting with right now. Any guesses? First of all, does everyone know what these icons are? LinkedIn, that one is not on here, but we are on that, but that's not the one I was thinking of, but good observation. MySpace? No. Foursquare? No, but good now. Gosh, I really need to add more. Instagram. Instagram is the one that I neglected to put on it. We are trying to figure out how best to utilize that. So, everyone knows this one? This one's pretty self-explanatory. That one? I'll admit it, my name is Gabrielle and I'm a Pinterest-holic. Anyone know this one? Twitter. And this is my own make-believe icon. It's the blogosphere. I will say this time and time again, this is the biggest aha and the biggest learning we had. This group of bloggers, if you find the right ones, are extremely powerful, can be extremely helpful. The question was, how do you build your community? How do you build your brand? How do you build your network? We found these people to be essential. There's a conference that happens that started with founders in the Bay Area called Blog Her. If you haven't heard of it, go to it or try to go to it.
What is it?
Blog Her, B-L-O-G-H-E-R. I think next year it's in Chicago. July time, I think. They just had it in New York last year. It's where all the bloggers, not to be gender typing, but mommy bloggers as we call them, hang out. Actually, there have been more daddy bloggers that have gone on there and male bloggers, so all are welcome. But Blog Her is typically, the demographic is women who blog on all topics. Food, health, fitness, beauty, special needs, and a whole variety of topics. These are simply, how do I say, How many of you are familiar with blogs? How many of you follow blogs? Okay, great, so you know. You know you like to follow a blog because there's good tips, or there's good advice, or there's good information that you get from them. I will say I'm surprised at how the blogosphere is changing the marketing landscape. When you go to BlogHer, or any conference that's geared towards bloggers, you're going to see Procter & Gamble, you're going to see all of the big brands with big attractive booths saying, hey, you want to try our product? Why do you think they want to try the product? So they can mention it and do exactly what I said we were trying to do. Share it on their post, which then their friends see and read, which then they'll share and post. And all of a sudden, where big brands were spending a lot of money on ad buys, on television marketing, on radio buys, they're shifting it to these folks. Why? In old traditional marketing, we called it word of mouth. It is now viral social marketing. So don't underestimate the blogosphere. We'll talk about how we engaged with them as well. Instagram is an up-and-coming one. MySpace, one of my dearest friends growing up is head of their business development, and they're coming back again with a new iteration of their old platform. So keep an eye on them. It's very Pinterest-esque. Kill me for saying that. And Facebook-y, so it's got kind of all the things. It's going to be an interesting relaunch. So what this is telling you is that the core of our strategy is our website. We want to drive traffic, build community, and build influence. So this is the core to what we do. These are just channels that enable us to do one of three or all of those things. So we're trying to, Facebook, we push our content to our site. We push content to other people's site, to bloggers. YouTube, we post post videos on our site, and we share and point them back to YouTube. So it's kind of a two-way street here. Pinterest we just got into because a lot of our articles on Ability Path, or our content, is picture-oriented. So we are able to grab the photo and say, looking for a Halloween costume for your child with special needs? Click here. And then it drives them to content to our site. So we have been able to look at ways to utilize, but I will say it's all about having no fear and going in and exploring. That's the key to any social media marketing. I'm sure somebody will disagree and tell me there's theory and everything behind it, but right now we're just going in and playing, and this is what we've seen.